Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I just wanted to sit down and talk about acne and how I cleared my acne by going on Accutane. I know a lot of people are struggling with acne, or maybe you want to go on Accutane but you're scared and you just want to know like about someone's personal experience. That's exactly what I'm going to share with y'all today. I'm going to share with y'all the side effects of Accutane, my experience on it, everything you need to know. I've actually made a list of things that I'm going to talk about, but if I leave anything out, just comment down below or direct message me on Instagram and I promise you I will respond, because I know like how frustrating it is to have acne, and I know like how bad the process is when you just like want answers and you just want it fixed and you just want it gone. So I sympathize with you, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And my nose itch is really bad. First thing I want to talk about is my experience, how my acne journey started. So I was on Accutane about three and a half going on 4 years ago. I've been off of it for a while, so I feel like I have a pretty good like positive story, but I just wanted to talk about how my skin actually developed acne in the first place. So I've always had clear skin my whole life. Like when I was in high school, I always had clear skin. Every once in a while I would get a pimple like in between my eyebrows usually, and that was probably about it. Like I always had clear skin. And then when I graduated high school and I was going to a community college, that's when my pimples kind of started. So I would get in between the middle of my eyebrows and like on my forehead, just like right in this area, I would get they weren't like zits, they were almost like little tiny bumps. They were underneath my skin though, so I couldn't really pop them. They weren't red, so like it's not like I could just put concealer on them and then like cover them up. It was more texture, it wasn't red bumps. So it started like that, and they just weren't going away. I was putting rubbing alcohol on them like all the time, like every day, multiple times a day. I don't know why my nose itches so bad, but I was putting rubbing alcohol on them like every day, multiple times a day, trying to dry that skin out right there, and nothing was working. I was trying like clean and clear, like I was trying all these random like products to try to help these little bumps go away, and nothing was working. So I went to my dermatologist and she prescribed me just like a regular topical cream or like lotion. I tried that for a little while, it didn't work. Went back to the dermatologist a few times. She gave me this like 5-step system that I had to use with like a toner, a cleanser, or whatever. Tried that, it didn't work. Went back to the dermatologist, she gave me like a cream and like a cleanser for my skin. That didn't work, and so I was just kind of struggling with these little bumps, and that's really all it was at that point. Okay, so this is where it kind of gets weird, and I'm just going to share this little story because I feel like this kind of developed my acne in a weird way. So I had these little bumps and I was dealing with them for months and months and months, like probably like a year, I don't even know, and I was trying everything. And then all of a sudden I got like really sick. I was like throwing up, I had a really high fever. I had just recently went on a cruise to the Bahamas, and the only reason I mentioned that is because when I went to the doctor, he asked me like had I been out of the country. He had no idea what was wrong with me. I didn't have the flu. I basically walked out of the doctor's office that day with like no explanation of why I was sick, but I was sick for like 2 weeks, like very sick. I've never been that sick before in my life. And then when I like got over that sickness, like within the next couple of days, this is very strange, like very strange, my boob started leaking this oil. Like my shirt was like completely soaked, my bra was soaked, and I just remember looking down like, why am I wet? I haven't spilled anything on myself, but it wasn't, it was like oil, like baby oil or like olive oil. It was very weird. And then I went to the doctor again for something else that was going on, and he told me that I had this infection, like a bacterial infection. Literally, this is all within like a week, okay? Think about this. I was very sick for like 2 weeks. Then this weird thing happened with my boob where I was like leaking this oil, and then he told me that I had a bacteria infection, And then literally within the week, I developed very like severe cystic acne all over my face, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So that's another thing. You have to make sure you know like what kind of acne you have. Mine was cystic acne, so it was like under my skin, like it kind of like leveled up on the surface, but it almost felt like little mini tumors. It was very textury, very painful, very red. I had it on my face. I still had these little white bumps, but it like developed into something way more than that within this week of this weird bacterial infection that I had in my body. So I got like very severe acne on my face. I got it all over my chest. I got it all over my back. I made my mom like put alcohol on my back because I was like, what is wrong with me? Like all this stuff just started happening, and I was like, what is literally wrong with me? I went into my dermatologist's office once again, and so this time the very first thing that she said to me was, is it okay if I put you on Accutane? So I was like, what is Accutane? So if you don't know what Accutane is, it's like a very strong medicine that is for treating like severe acne. Usually they don't put you on it when you first walk in the dermatologist. If you have like mild acne, they probably will start you on a topical cream first, or like maybe a cleanser. Accutane, I think, is seen as like a last resort. If you have very severe acne and you walk up in the dermatologist on the very first time and it's bad, they're probably going to put you on Accutane. That's just something that you have to talk with your dermatologist about. So this kind of starts my Accutane journey. So when she asked me if I would be interested in going on Accutane, I was like, what is Accutane? And she explained to me what it was. It was like a very strong medicine that would clear my skin. She didn't say that it like might have a possibility of clearing my skin. She pretty much told me that like if I went on this medicine, I would probably never have like a pimple again in my life. Like you will never deal with acne again in your life if you go on Accutane. And I was like, heck to the yeah, put me on this crap. Like I don't care what the side effects are. Like I need to clear my acne right now. Y'all, I was so insecure about my face. I would send pictures to my mom. I'd be like, selfie, like look how bad my skin is today. And I would never want to take pictures. And that's another thing, I would cover up my acne with like all this makeup, which is like the exact opposite of what you should do if you're trying to clear your skin, because you don't want to like clog your pores with all this makeup. But at the same time, you don't want to just like be like, hey, here's my acne every day. You want to cover it up because most likely you're very insecure about it. I was so insecure about it. I remember I was at my boyfriend's house one time, and he had company come over randomly, and I literally ran upstairs and I hid in his bedroom because I was so embarrassed. I had no makeup on and I did not want to like scare the person that was at his house. I was just like very, very insecure about my acne. So when my doctor asked me if I wanted to go on Accutane, I was like, heck yeah, put me on it. So then when my doctor asked me if I wanted to go on Accutane, she started telling me about the side effects of Accutane and the process of what it would be like going on this medicine. So the first thing that she told me is that my skin would be severely, severely dry. Second thing she told me is that is a common like side effect of Accutane is suicidal thoughts, which is very serious. And my mom was with me in this appointment, and she was like, what the heck, like that's very serious. And I was like, okay. So severe dry skin, suicidal thoughts, what else? Oh yeah, she told me that I could not get pregnant once I went on this medicine. Like it was very, very important. She was like, are you sexually active? You have to go on 2 forms of birth control. Like she made sure that I knew that if I went on this medicine, it was not an option for me to like even think about getting pregnant. It was very serious. She also showed me photos of people that have had babies while they were on Accutane, and the babies were born with like severe like abnormalities. They were like disformed. She showed me like photos of babies with like literally 2 heads and 3 legs. Like it was very serious. And so I guess that's why they like make sure that you don't get pregnant while you're on this medicine, is because the baby can really be messed up. So now I'm going to talk about the process of going on Accutane and like what it looks like to actually be on the medicine. So I was on Accutane for I think about like 4 months. Some people do it for like 3 months. Some people do it for 6 months. I think it just has to do with like your body and probably like maybe your weight. I'm very petite, so it probably didn't take much for this stuff to like kick in. So the process of going on Accutane is like a very routine, big process. So the first thing that I had to do to go on Accutane is I had to go on 2 forms of birth control. So after I got prescribed 2 forms of birth control, then I had to go in each month and I had to get a checkup. They had to make sure I was doing everything right. They also had to do a blood test. That's another reason I had to go in each month. They had to take my blood, and that was my pregnancy test. So each month I had to get a checkup, I had to get a blood test, a pregnancy test, and then I also had to take these quizzes or like a questionnaire every time before my pharmacy would actually prescribe my medicine for the following month. I had to go on to this website, take a little quiz that basically said like what Accutane was, what birth control I was on, what you know, just that I wasn't going to share my medicine with anyone, that type of thing. So after I passed my little questionnaire, then my doctor had to take a questionnaire to make sure everything matched. And so then at that point the pharmacy would prescribe my medication to me. When you get your medicine, you only get a 30-day supply or like a month supply. You don't get all your medicine for like the 6 months or 5 months or 4 months, however long you're on your Accutane. Like I said, you have to go in monthly and do this. So you have to do the quiz monthly, you have to do the pregnancy test monthly, you have to do the blood drawing monthly, the doctor's appointment monthly, and you have to do this every single month. It's like a routine to the day each month. So once you get your pills, they don't come in like a little prescription bottle of pills. They come in like a little piece of paper, I don't know, they just come in like, you know, like a little thing like this where you have to like peel back each medicine, or you have to peel back each pill and then like pop it out of the little thing. So they come in like a little packet, and this is so weird, but this is how like serious it is. And they made, I feel like my Accutane experience, my doctor was very, very heavy on making sure that I knew that pregnancy was not an option. So on each individual pill that you had to peel back was a photo of it was like a black photo of a pregnant woman, and then it was like a circle in red with an X through it. So on each little pill, before I took each pill, I peeled it back and I saw the woman with like a pregnant woman with an X through it, like do not get pregnant if you take this pill. So after my 30 days was up, or my month supply or whatever, then I had to go back in and start the process again. Blood drawn, take the quiz, make sure I wasn't pregnant, get the pills, take it for that month. So that was kind of like the process and like the routine of being on Accutane. So now let's talk about the side effects of being on Accutane. First of all, if you want to go on Accutane, it's all about your attitude towards it, because it's like a very harsh, strong drug. So if you are going on Accutane and you're like, oh my god, 6 months of this pill, like kill me now, this sucks, do not go on Accutane. But if you have the mindset of like, oh my gosh, 6 months on this pill, like that's not a big deal. 6 months of whatever these side effects are, that's not a big deal because clear skin in the end is going to be worth it, then Accutane is the drug for you. It's the drug for you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about my personal side effects and what I experienced going on Accutane. Okay, so the first thing is I had a severe dry skin. It was really bad. I had it, you know, my whole body really. Like every time I got out the shower, I had to put moisturizer on, which I do that anyway, but it was just very, very dry. The main thing on my body that was dry was my lips. Like I literally woke up each morning, I kid you not, no lie, I woke up each morning and I was like my lips were like, and I was like, oh my god, and I had to like go like that and like lick them just to make sure that I could like open my mouth. Like it was so dry, so crusty. It wasn't just like a normal chapped lip, it was like extremely dry lips. I could not go more than 30 minutes to an hour without putting chapstick on, or like Aquaphor, like the little capsule things of Aquaphor was like my very best friend. I put it on all the time. I had my face, my lips, everything lathered in Aquaphor. If for some reason I was going somewhere, like say I was going like shopping or out to eat like for the night, and let's just say I left my Aquaphor or my chapstick at home, I would make my family, my friends, whoever I was with, I would make them stop at a gas station so I could get some chapstick, or stop at CVS so I could get some Aquaphor. Like, it was like, I was like, I'm not going an hour without this, because it was almost painful. So that was like a really big side effect that I had. Another side effect that I had was I was like very moody, and I was like very sad. Like, your family has to really be on board with you when you go on this medicine, because they have to understand that this is like something that's going to affect your mood. I would get very sad sometimes, and I would think certain things, and I just remember I had to remind myself. I literally had to say to myself, this is not how I normally think. This is not my normal thought process. This is the medicine that is making me think like this. So I would have to remind myself of that. So that was something that was like kind of hard for me. Another thing, this is a big one. You cannot go in the sun. I was on Accutane when it was like starting to get summertime, so I like wanted to get a tan. I remember one time I went to the beach for the day, literally just for the day, with 2 of my friends, and I got fried, and I put sunscreen on and everything, and I just honestly, I was like, oh, I'm fine, like Accutane is not a big deal, like I'm not gonna get burnt. I got fried. When I say I got fried, first of all, I don't really ever, I mean, sometimes I'll get like sunburn, but I never get fried. I got fried, like I was like a lobster. I had bubbles of blisters, like sun blisters, like you could literally stick like a needle in it and just like water would come out. Like, I had blisters all over my face, all over my body. I had to sit in a bathtub of vinegar and like put vinegar on me to ease the pain of this sunburn. It was the worst sunburn of my life. Just take it from me, if you are going on Accutane, do not go in the sun. Just don't. Like, it's not the big deal. Just put on self-tanner or something. So that was pretty much all the side effects that I had. I know one thing that I did notice after I finished Accutane, from the time I stopped Accutane to the time, for about a year after I stopped taking Accutane, and I did notice that my skin was just a little bit different. So what I mean by that is I never had an issue with tanning. I always could tan really well in the sun. I never burned. So after a year of taking Accutane, I noticed that my skin couldn't tan the same way. If you've ever, like, you know, kind of got a little bit sunburnt and then your skin starts to peel, and then like when your skin peels, you almost notice it's like almost a little raw. That's how my skin was for like a year after Accutane. And even though I didn't have any pimples, I remember like thinking to myself, have I ruined my skin? Like, is the complexion of my skin never gonna be the same again? But that only lasted for about a year, and my skin is just the exact same now as it was before I got on Accutane. So if that happens to you, your skin, you just have to give it time. It'll get back to the way that it normally is. So for my overall experience on Accutane, a 10 out of 10 recommend, like 11 out of 10 recommend. My skin now is very clear. Every once in a while I will get, like, I mean, I have like a couple pimples right here, but I'm also, it's about to be that time of the month, and yeah, every once in a while I'll get a pimple. I mean, it comes and goes like in the same day. Like, it's never anything that I have to really like worry about. Yeah, my doctor told me that if I went on Accutane that I would not have to deal with acne ever again in my life, and she was right. It like really worked. Accutane, genuinely and truly, it changed my life for the better. Like, my skin has never been better. I've never worried about acne ever again. I mean, it's been a little while since I've been off of Accutane, and I think about it often, because that experience that I had, having like cystic acne, very painful all over my chest, all over my back, and now to go on that medicine, deal with all the side effects, and then now my skin's totally clear. So if Accutane is something that you are thinking about, then I would highly recommend going on Accutane. If you have like very, very bad acne and you've tried everything, I would very highly recommend. Go on Accutane. It works. Like, it really works, and it genuinely changed my life. Okay, well, I think that is all that I have for this video. I hope that y'all enjoyed listening to my little acne journey and my little Accutane story. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps me a lot. Also follow me on Instagram. It is linked down below. And yeah, like I said, message me, comment if you have any other questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.